Let me know when we're gooch.
Ooh, I actually felt a little fart coming in when I was doing that.
Uh-oh.
Man, we're alive.
Okay, of course we are. Uh, that's episode 231 of the Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture, and I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver. That's Linguini.
Hey, and that's Street
Hey.
Fighter 2 Championship Edition.
Yes, it is.
Oh, man, what a week. What a week it has been. It's a pleasure to meet all of your acquaintances.
Again, it's Monday.
Yes, it is Monday. It's Monday Lemon.
Yeah, Lemon, it's Monday.
What a freaking great meme. It always hits me really hard. I don't know. There must be something going on. I know that there's like the whole like, you know, humanity's collective subconscious. Like there's that idea that like on some level we're all experiencing the same type of like
Reality.
not psychic events, but like there is some weird hidden undercurrent that we all feel and like that we can't really explain. When somebody posts that, it inevitably has been like, man, I am really being put through it. And then somebody posts that and I'm like, Jesus, is it actually is it actually Tuesday? Like, and it always like it invariably, I was feeling that beforehand and then somebody posts that. And I'm just like, how is somebody, I know with so many people on this planet, like inevitably somebody is going to be having a rough week the same time I am, but like that feeling of time dilation that we experience is so weird that like some days a lot of people will comment on, man, this Tuesday feels like it's been forever. And it has for all of them. I don't know, it's weird. Metaphysics.
I think you're overthinking it.
This is a games and nerd culture
that
podcast.
that went way deeper than I thought it was going to. I get what you mean, though. It's like, you know, to summarize, when you find something that is hashtag relatable in that moment, and you're like, man, maybe I'm not alone on this big blue marble.
Maybe I'm picking up on the psychic frequencies. I couldn't even say it right. Dang.
Psyquick.
Psyquick.
That sounds like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
That was like
Psyduck,
the
Gold
rejected
Duck,
evolution.
Psyquick.
Yeah. Oh no, Harry! Thank you for saying that. Harry called out that the byline on Twitch still says that we're doing a Doctor Strange spoiler cast.
We are definitely not doing
Most
that.
We're
definitely
definitely not doing that. We already did that.
We did that last week.
But thank you, Harry, for doing that because
Heck yeah.
Streamlabs does not show that, and that is what I launched this through. The Platformers podcast. Boom.
Cool.
Anyway,
this is a video
Thanks,
game
Harry.
podcast.
This is a video game podcast, and we got a lot of games to talk about, and a lot of other stuff to talk about.
game-related topics.
But first, I was poking around in the show notes because that's and what?
You froze for a second. I was like, uh-oh.
It's
Yeah,
on
I was
now.
looking through the show notes as I often do, and I was scrolling down and I was like, okay, here's all the stuff that I'm going to talk about, and then here's the stuff that Josh is going to talk about, and then I went back down to Chris's section. I was like, I feel like this hasn't been updated in a really long time, and I wanted to ask Chris when the last time he updated his stuff was, and I see what's on there, and he doesn't. So I just want to ask, when do you think the last time you updated the show notes was? If you had to guess.
If I had to guess, the last time
let's say you're betting $10 on it.
the last time I remember being consistent with it would have been when I lived at the apartment. And that was back in 2018.
4 years ago?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's either that old or
Or older.
because here's the thing. I wouldn't have started doing it when I came back from not being on the show. I know I wouldn't have. I would have been like, all right, I'm back in it. Like I just would have been doing what I'm doing now, which is like, what did I do this week? And then I just remember it, and then I just go.
Okay.
We also shortened the show when I came back.
That's true.
It's inevitably gotten longer again, but
It's not as long as it was, though.
no, we used to be like a Lord of the Rings
We were
movie.
like 2 to 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like 2 to 3 hours before.
If I had to guess, it's probably like Batman Arkham or no, because that was back when Marty was on.
Let me add your guesses.
Oh man, July 2018. I don't even know.
You're thinking.
Maybe,
what do you think? What do you feel like in your spirit? What do you think is on this list?
I feel like Batman Arkham Origins would be on there.
Okay.
Maybe Splinter Cell Blacklist, even though I didn't. No, because I didn't play that all the way through.
Wait, are these your 6 games?
They're
to
my
beat?
6 games to beat, and that's why I'm thinking that.
Yeah, your 6 games to beat. By the way, this was an old contest. I'm gonna actually read these out because this was a contest back before Josh was even on the show.
And most of these, I probably still haven't played and don't plan to.
I was working at ye old TJ Maxx when you guys were still doing this.
Were you really?
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was before you even worked at IGN or GameSpot or any of that. Wow. Yeah. So we had this contest called 6 Games to Beat. And it was basically a way to, I think this goes back to the episode called Blast Through Your Backlog with One Neat Trick. Something like that.
I believe
it was supposed to be like a knockoff of like Blast Through Your Belly Fat with this one trick doctors don't want you to know or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That sort of thing. Like as a knockoff of like those really terrible health
Gamers hate him for this one trick.
Exactly. This guy played through his entire backlog and he doesn't want you to find out how he did it. But we basically picked 6 games that we hadn't gotten around to, but that we really wanted to and thought were kind of important to play. So my 6 were Red Dead Redemption, Batman Arkham Origins, The Legend of Zelda 1, Splinter Cell Conviction, BioShock 2, and XCOM. Marty's were Wolfenstein the Old Blood, Life is Strange, The Witcher 3's DLC, Dark Souls 1, Batman Arkham City, and The Last of Us. Chris's games were Final Fantasy VII.
Which I did play.
Which you did.
I played the entirety of it. Yeah.
It's crossed off on the list.
Yep.
Batman Arkham Origins, which is crossed off on the list.
I did play that.
And then 4 that you didn't get to. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor.
I still haven't played that all the way through.
You don't need to.
Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good one.
Okami.
Which I still haven't played all the way through.
And Dishonored.
Which,
also
still haven't played, yeah.
Yeah. Marty didn't play any of his. You played 2 of yours, and I beat all 6 of mine.
I think that contest is what got Marty to not want to do the show anymore. Because he was like...
so?
Yeah, because I think... He had just started like working full time, and I think he felt a lot of pressure under the idea of I need to finish these games for this thing, and I barely have time to like have a real life as it is, and I think it just like broke him.
Isn't that just being an adult?
I mean, yeah, but that was his first like soiree into it.
And I beat all 6 of mine.
Yeah, because I remember like resenting the shit out of you for that.
For
like
me?
Being like, this guy's got so much time to play these games. Like, I played Final Fantasy VII, and it took me like 40 hours.
Yeah.
And like every waking minute I had, I remember I would stay up till like 2 a.m. playing that game when I had like, my first big boy job. And
you could have picked Pac-Man. I didn't make you pick your list.
Hey, I know that. But and
Pac-Man
then I remember
arguably might be harder to get to the end of, actually.
Yeah. I remember you beating all of yours though.
Screen, but,
and me being like, this guy, he's got so much more time than I do. Because you didn't have Riley then, like
I didn't have Riley, and like was I even working? No, I
you
wasn't
had just
working
left
at IGN.
No, you had just left the mortgage company.
Oh, so I was unemployed. I was literally unemployed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out ways to spend some time.
And I was like, this guy. I was so upset.
I was also upset because I wasn't making any money.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be pretty upset about that too. But anyway, so if that's on there for those games to beat, I would think...
What's on your list, on your show notes section?
All right, so Switch came out 2017. Oh, we talked about Breath of the Wild. Beginning of 2018, what would have come out? I'm going to guess it's like Shovel Knight. What's the Spectre of Torment? And maybe like a Last of Us thing, because that seems pretty on brand for me. I actually went back a couple months ago and listened to an episode from like 2018, 2017, before like PS5 was announced. Last of Us Part 2 hadn't gotten or no, I think it had just gotten announced like a couple months like prior. And I made like all these predictions about that game, like as far as like its release and all that. And like, if had the pandemic not happened, I would have been right on like a lot of them. I was like really impressed with myself.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, we're all, the three of us are knowledgeable.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah. It was just funny. I was like, damn, go me.
Yeah, exactly. How many times? Like, there have been several times when I've like been like, "This is what needs to happen," and then it happens.
Oh, we've
like,
done that. I mean, how many
So
weeks
many
have we had
times.
where we've been like, "This is the topic," like this is ridiculous, and then the next week it changes, and we're like, "Well, shit, all right."
Or literally the next day,
Yeah,
they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, guess what?
yeah,
Yeah.
Game X is canceled."
Okay, so here you go. You ready, Chris?
yeah.
Here we go. Item 1 for Chris in the show notes that he hasn't seen in ages. Furious 6.
Oh my god! All right.
Bullet point 2. The Last of Us Part 2 update.
Okay, so this was 2020.
Bullet point 3. Portal movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4.
Making a portal.
Yep.
Portal Reloaded. Time travel
Oh.
portal. What you set in the future, what you set in the present appears in the future.
Well,
Cubes
then
in
that
the
couldn't
present
have
can be
been.
brought
Yeah.
to the future.
This wasn't that
It
long
must
ago.
have been around. It must
Yeah.
have been like 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
Right?
Still 2 years.
No,
I mean-
no. It would have been last year. It was probably an update to The Last of Us 2.
Maybe.
And then, because Jess and I just watched the Fast Saga like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Oh, there you go.
But still,
It's a weekly show, guys.
it's a weekly show, and I just don't update my shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I update when I
Anyway.
remember. This week. I did not
Anyway,
remember.
we had a couple of things happen this week. Shall we start with the news?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, we had two things. We had the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, which I think we can go through.
I did not watch it.
I did
I
not
watched
watch it, but I had an moment, which Josh and I will talk about a little
John.
bit later. John.
Known Platformers co-host John Mobley.
John Mobley.
John Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Surprise.
Yeah, so couple of games. We had Soundfall, which I know you two were into.
We've played.
And I'm
yeah.
guessing we're going to be talking about that a little bit
Yeah,
later.
baby.
Yes.
Then we had, I just noted the ones that looked interesting to me. So if there's anything else that sticks out to you guys, feel free to mention it.
Didn't watch it, so I literally have no idea.
Then Wild Frost, which I don't remember what it was about, but I remember being like, oh, okay. And it's out this holiday. Then there was another, and inevitably most of these, when they popped up and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. It was like, hey, this is a Devolver game. And it's like, of course it is, because they have my number. Gumbrella was the one. That's coming out next year and looks pretty fun.
Yeah, that's one though. I watched the trailer and I was like, this is so far out that it's not that I'm gonna forget about it, but like I'm just not gonna think about it right now. But it looks very, very cool.
Yeah. Then Cult of the Lamb, which is coming out this year, another Devolver game. Then Cursed to Golf, which is a game that I had forgotten about.
I've heard that name, and I thought that was a really funny name.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks fun. After as somebody who like was never really into sports games, even like sports RPGs or something, I really did enjoy Golf Story. I had a really fun time with it. And that was one of the games that I reviewed actually for Nintendo. And Cursed to Golf kind of has that same energy. So I'm
It's,
excited to check that out.
If you don't want to wait, that is in early access right now. Cursed to Golf.
On PC?
On Steam. It's
Okay, cool.
Steam Deck supported. There was some YouTuber I was watching that. I think it was was probably Bob Wolf, who I watch a lot of YouTubers. I feel like I plug him like every week, and I don't know why. But yeah, he was playing that on there and said it was really good.
Man, sometime in the next month-ish, I'll be getting.
I gotta keep going.
But yeah, One Shot, which is a game that's been out on PC for a long time, has come to Switch, which seems like a kind of interesting game. Gibbon Beyond the Trees, which is like a game about swinging around, being a little monkey boy.
Being a gibbon.
Yep. Then Card Shark, which has a demo out now, which looks like a poker game, like a digital.
I was gonna say, is it
game.
a poker game where you play as a shark? Because
That would be dope.
That would be great.
I
that
think
would
it's
be
just
much
like
better.
you're sitting around. It's kind of got that like Nidhogg 2 kind of aesthetic, but like from first person. It's like that jaggy kind of. You can tell it's put together, like the framework of like kind of single ply art. I'm not really sure how to describe it.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that, and then there's Opus Echo of Star Song, which looked cool, but it chugged on the stream. So I'm hoping that there's also going to be like a PC version of this game, because that looked cool, and I didn't want to run into the like RIME issue, RIME, where like that game on PC was totally fine and on PlayStation and stuff, but on Switch it like did not run well. Which is why I'm excited for my Steam Deck, because it is going to run all of these games better than they run on Switch.
So they say.
You hope, yeah.
You hope. But was there anything else, Chris, on the thing?
There was one that I thought looked really cute. The little crab guys.
Oh yeah.
It's like Dark Souls, but with crabs. It's like a 3D action game.
I did see that on Polygon, I think.
I thought that looked cute.
Funny.
Yeah.
That was the only one that really stuck out, though. I was actually kind of not.
It was super short. It was like 12 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean they usually aren't too crazy, but there weren't a lot of games there that I felt like were there for me.
No.
But there were definitely like, Ooblets. I think will be big.
I've been seeing stuff about that game for years.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been showing that
It's
game for a while.
insane that that's still not out. And then remember with the whole controversy, like they had their whole like debacle when they were like, we're going to be exclusive to the Epic store. And then everybody was like,
what do you mean?
F that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, all of you guys feel so strongly about Ooblets. Could not be me. But, yeah.
It was a very odd. I mean, I think people were just latching onto whatever because they were very anti-Epic Game Store. Yeah. So they were like, oh, another game, getting swallowed up by the machine. Better yell at them for it or something,
Yeah, it's pretty dumb, but it happens.
As of today, my expected deck order date, calculated from 2,520 data points out of a possible 7,952 data points, is May 30th.
So soon.
Which is 2 weeks from today.
Hopefully that is correct.
The day of Memorial.
The day of my daughter's wedding.
That's right.
On the day of Memorial.
If my daughter gets married in 2 weeks, we're gonna have a lot of problems.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions.
I'm gonna be polishing up the old shotgun.
And he might not have a lot of answers.
Honestly, science is gonna have a lot of questions.
Yeah. So that was that. And now let's get on to the just general summary. I didn't think it was that impressive, but there were some cool games. I'm mostly interested in checking out like where those things already exist. Just because. Although, I will say one thing that I liked was, did you guys see that piece that came out about whatever the Switch 2 is going to be?
No.
Where
I'm done reading them. I'm done.
Show it to
me.
Nintendo,
show me when it's a PR,
Yeah.
slip from them at this point.
It wasn't a slip. It was I think there was somebody who actually said something. Hold on, let me actually pull this up. But I believe that this was prompted when somebody. Somebody was talking to Reggie about something.
We have been hearing about a Switch Next for 4 years now.
No. Here we go.
Since 2017 when it came out and things got choppy in The Lost Woods and Breath of the Wild. That's really when it started.
Nintendo's president. So this is not rumors, this is not speculation. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa wants to make the move on to the next generation, quote, as smooth as possible.
Sure.
Yeah, they talked about this in Digital Foundry.
They contrasted this with, they were talking about the enormous success on the Wii and the DS and the difficulty in moving from Wii to Wii U and DS to 3DS, which had really rocky launches. So they're trying to get that stuff over. I forget, we are focusing on building long-term relationships with our consumers through Nintendo accounts, while continuing. There's some other stuff that they go into where they talk about non-gaming stuff, but one of the ideas is that they may be looking to basically make the Switch 2 just a bigger, better version of this, which is what I want. It's basically all that I want.
I'm sure it's what a lot of people want because they have kind of just nailed whatever, the formula.
Yeah.
They've combined their two things, right? They had a handheld division and they had their normal,
and they crossed the streams,
and they just crossed the streams, and I don't feel like there's any going back really at this point. So
I hope not.
Yeah,
it's
interesting.
So against, and granted, I guess Switch Online kind of is as well. It's so against everything they've done up until now, and it's just so against what you expect Nintendo to do. Where, oh my God, we released another console. It's another opportunity to sell Mario Brothers for $5. Ideally, if this is going to be running, if this is going to be a PS4 to PS5 situation, or Xbox to Series situation, all those games will port over. They'll have a similar slot that you can pop your physical games into. My bet is it won't, and it'll be different. Because Nintendo gonna Nintendo, and they like to dick over the physical crowd as much as they can a lot of the time. I'd love to be wrong though. It's just,
and they did that on DS, going from
Game
Boy to DS, which I loved.
Yeah,
There's only so many times you can do that when you're changing the form factor of the cartridges.
Well, and I wonder how much they they're already taking they're already taking a loss selling these physical games, right? Or at least they cost more to manufacture than they would if they had a disc-based system, which obviously they can't do. Because you can't have moving components in a handheld like that, or at least you shouldn't.
And it's not that fast. It's not as fast.
Yeah, it's just not.
I mean, PSP did it, but they had to
PSP, notoriously successful and good system.
It was.
No, it was.
PSP sold really well. What are you talking about?
It sold really well, but
I mean, it wasn't like DS numbers, but
show me a
PSP
UMD that doesn't look like it was run over by a car,
or was actually run over by a car.
Yeah, a lot of them have not stood the test of time. I don't know. I don't know what there is to say about it at this point. Only because
we don't have to talk more. I just wanted to point out that I'm talking about, I don't want to buy this again, but they may actually respect my purchases moving into the future.
I would love for them to do that. I just have zero faith that they will. They've never, outside of the DS to 3DS jump and the Game Boy.
Or I guess the Wii to Wii U, you still, if you bought stuff on the Wii shop, you could still access it.
Your GameCube games also played on your Wii,
and not on your GameCube, and that was literally a software choice. The only reason that you couldn't play GameCube games on the Wii U is because they didn't decide to put the GameCube ports on it. Physically, it was capable of playing GameCube games.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can mod a Wii U and mod the VUE on it, and it will work exactly the same way. They just were no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, not that I think it would have made a huge difference, but like,
because they're a toy company and not a tech company.
Yeah. But at some point, like, especially if, and we've talked about this before, but like, if the Steam Deck does start to take off in the way that we kind of want it to, it's not that Nintendo's going to go away, but I think their hardware sales could become a lot softer then.
I still don't think that the Steam Deck will make much of a dent in Nintendo's bottom line.
No, I don't think it won't.
Yeah, I don't think it'll really make any difference.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I don't
or
think
at least I have a hard time believing it'll make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nintendo fans are nuts.
Yeah.
And also, like, kids and stuff use the Switch, right? And they're not going to be on like
I would never give a kid a Steam Deck.
No, but also they're not going to be on like forums like trying to figure out how to get this game that's not Steam Deck compatible to fucking work on the Steam Deck.
What
they're
package
gonna be like,
manager do you
this thing
use?
doesn't work, or they can just put Mario in their Switch and just go. You know, they're running. They're good to go. Like they don't. Yeah, I don't see. I feel like the Steam Deck, yes, while cool, is very, very specific market, whereas Nintendo targets like younger, but also like older a little bit. It's a little bit of everybody.
I'm going to double back on what I said because you're right. And I was actually thinking about it today. The Steam Deck is interesting in that like it's a device that it's like, wow, this is great for like the PC gamer on the go. But at the end of the day, if you don't leave your house that much, like you don't travel that much, and
it's a multitasking device.
It's not only a multitasking device, but it's like I was sitting here in my office trying to justify, like, all right, if the Steam Deck is on this TV and my PC is right next to it, what are the odds that every time I sit down and I go to play something, I'm going to be like, all right, time to dock the Steam Deck, get a controller out, and play it on the TV. If it's not going to run at 4K or whatever. Like, at that point, no, I am going to do what I've been doing with Hollow Knight. I am going to play it on the Switch because it looks great it looks better on an OLED Switch than it will running on the Steam Deck. And I just have to throw it in the dock, and like it's just easier to use that. Like, I do wonder if I get this thing in like 6 months after the fact, I'm like, why do I even own this?
I'm telling you, that's why I got rid of mine, because I was like, I seriously doubt that I will be even playing this thing for a long time. And also just the more stuff comes out, it's like the more like hassle it seems to be, which like I always kind of like tweaking with that stuff, but these days I'm like, man, I just want it to work. I want to boot up, I want to boot up my game and just play it. Like, I don't want to have to sit here and like tinker with it.
That's what I want to do too, but I also want something that runs things better. Like that's the thing. And like I'm definitely not of the I'm actually kind of surprised, Chris, to hear you talk about docking it, because I don't think I'm ever gonna dock it.
Yeah, but you never dock your Switch either.
Yeah, pretty much not.
Yeah, like for you, it makes sense. Because
if I was gonna play on a screen, why wouldn't I just use an Xbox Series X or my PS5?
The save,
because
honestly,
they're way more powerful.
It's the save file, because this is what I was thinking about. Was like in a Portal is what got me thinking about it. It was like, all right, if let's say I'm playing the Steam Deck, and I get I play for 2 hours or whatever, I have that save on there.
Yeah,
and I'm like, all right, I'm done playing. I want to get the best experience possible on a 4K TV. Putting the Steam Deck in there is not it. And then it's like, all right,
no way.
If I want to use that save, I have the living room PC. I could boot it up on there. And then I'm like, well, then I got to like dick around with the controller and make sure that it like works the same way and are the drivers installed. Yeah. And like I'm thinking about it as I'm doing it. I'm like, no. If I ever wanted to play Portal again on a modern console, I would wait for the port that they're putting out for Switch. I would buy that and then I'd be done with it and I would move on with my life. Like it'd be like $20, fine, whatever. And like I know I would just have that available to me because it's just easier. And that's so weird to think about.
That's why I want the Switch too, is because I love that convenience. It runs things generally pretty well, but sometimes it just doesn't run things well enough.
Oh no, and it wouldn't be every title. Like, I'm not gonna play Deathloop on Switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I definitely agree. Like, there would be some things where I would be like, oh yeah, like I'll like, because right now I'm like, I want to buy some of the Mega Man collection games. Like, I want to buy like, what is it, the Mega Man X collection, the Mega Man X2 collection?
They're like all on sale right now.
Yeah, so I was just like, I haven't played these games in a really long time. Do I want to buy these? Do I want to buy them on Steam so I can play them on Steam Deck? Do I want to buy them somewhere else? And like, those games will run really well on Switch. Like, that's not a problem. And I could pop it in the dock and play them with the Pro controller, which isn't bad. You know, it's not, I don't love it, but the Pro controller is definitely not bad. And that would be fine. But, you know, if I want to play Dark Souls Remastered or something like that, it's on there, but like, I don't know that it runs as well as I would want it to. Like, does it run at 60 frames? Probably not.
On what?
On Switch. Do you have Dark Souls Remastered on Switch?
Why would it? No.
I was trying to. I feel like somebody was telling me.
No, the reason I asked, I wanted you to clarify is like, now imagine that. I don't know. There's no good answer for this because it's not like I can just like, it's not like I can magic, like the magic bullet is the Steam Deck, because it's not. Like, I can grab certain games and be like, Doom? No, I wouldn't play that on Switch because it probably runs like shit. You know, locked 30.
I've heard
locked
it runs
30, but 30.
surprisingly well.
Well, yeah, but like it's 30. Like if you're used to playing it 120 or whatever, it's like, get the fuck out of here. With the Steam Deck, it's like, no, I would never. Well, like it's that kombucha girl moment of like, would it work? I don't know. I mean, like, it's not that demanding, but like it's more powerful. Like, and then you start going through that whole thing.
It's also 720, and it's like yeah, the screen's like what? Isn't it? It's like 720 the screen.
What on the Steam Deck?
Yeah,
it's like 12. And it's 800p, I think.
Okay.
I know it's like a 16:10 display.
Okay.
Let me look.
So it's got a higher resolution than the Switch, right?
It does. I mean,
yeah.
It does, but
it's also more powerful.
No, not what I was going to say.
Is it not?
It is more powerful. Not what I was going to say. It's 1280 by 800. The screen is a slightly higher resolution, but it's bigger, so the image is more stressed out. So it's a bigger. It's less of a pixel density than the Switch is. So if you were to put like a title that runs on Switch on a I'm gonna call out Switch OLED because that's what I've been using and I think it looks fucking amazing. If you put
more readable on the Steam Deck, but it would look better on the Switch.
Yeah, like you would look at the Switch and be like, that looks so much better just because of the display technology. Like, but that's the only reason.
Is small, like that could still be a problem.
Sure. But that's going to be a problem on any handheld that doesn't like take that into consideration. Like Civ on the Steam Deck, like the text could be way too small. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't want to do that.
Right. I'm fascinated by this, and I'm kind of settling into the fact that like this might fix some of my problems while introducing others.
It will definitely introduce others.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see where I end up falling down. Like, if I do prefer the just kind of set it and forget it, and like sometimes the games don't perform that well of the Switch, or if I prefer it has all the games that I have on PC, and since I get a lot of review codes for PC, that's going to make it way easier for me to do all the stuff that I want to do. Like because even so, like the idea of having a handheld PC that I don't have to get rid of a bunch of other stuff that's running on it. This is just for games. It's not my laptop. It's way more portable than my laptop. I can just sit down on the couch, watch a show, and play something. And like I'll have like Vampire Survivors in my hands, and I'll just have that going, and I'll do that while I'm doing something else, and it'll just be ready to go.
Chris does have a good point though that it has to run on Linux.
Friend of the show, John, aka Smoke in the chat. I've been happy with my Steam Deck so far. Got mine on Friday and I've been playing Final Fantasy X and Guacamelee 2.
Nice. That
is good to hear. John, have you played any like really intense games that you would look at and be like, this definitely wouldn't run on the Switch? I ask because both of those games have ports on Switch, and I think they both run really well. So I would expect those games to run like without a hitch on the Steam Deck for sure. And I know we're splitting hairs, like we definitely are.
Yeah.
I think it is going to introduce way more problems. Like, here's what I'm expecting is we both get the Steam Deck and I start getting like the random Discord messages from you at like 10 a.m. on a Wednesday, and you're like, so I'm trying to do this thing. Like, how did you get this? Like, what did you have to install to get this working? And I'm just like, I'm in a meeting. Like, what do you want? Like, go on Reddit. I don't know. Like,
hey, it's gonna happen.
I know.
It's gonna happen. But yeah, like I am curious. Like, I've heard that Elden Ring runs really well on it, which is like about as modern.
They patched it.
Yeah, it's about as modern.
Yeah,
as
not every
else,
game's gonna get a patch.
Yeah,
sure. You know, but
and I'm not trying to poo-poo on it. Like, I'm buying this thing. I'm very excited to dick around with it and have my own opinion of it.
Yeah, I want all of Brian's dreams to come true.
I do too.
You
guys are sweet.
I just have reservations on it.
Yeah.
Not anymore. You don't. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about this because this was definitely not
a rabbit hole.
Spent a lot of time on this.
Not the subject. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like that. It's been a thing where I've just been thinking about. I've been thinking a lot about like the identities of the different platforms and how things have evolved since the different acquisitions have come through. Like, I love Arcane. Like, I love these other, developers that have been acquired by Xbox and like PlayStation. I've loved for a long time, but like a lot of the IPs that I really love, they've kind of abandoned. And so I'm just like, is there anything that is like I have to have moving on into different generations? I was trying to think of, I was remembering something that Audrey said, which was kind of like a morbid thing. She's like, yeah, if anything ever happens to you, I'm getting whatever the next Xbox is. Like, because she was like not a gamer before, but now she's like big into Halo.
Yeah.
So like whenever Halo comes out, she's gonna get whatever it plays on. She's got her own Series X now, and season 2 is out for Halo Infinite and stuff. And I was just thinking, like, what is that for me? Like, what's the stuff that like I'm always gonna get? And I think Halo is one, and I think Mario like is probably one also. Specifically 2D Marios.
Yeah.
But I was just like, nothing else is really getting carried forward. Like, it's not like a new 2D Castlevania game would be like platform specific. It's not like,
well, no,
any of the stuff that I would really, really want, you know what I mean? That I can like bank on in the future. And I was just kind of like, yeah. And I guess a lot of that stuff comes to PC. Like, a lot, if I don't mind waiting, like a lot of the Sony stuff, a lot of the Xbox stuff is going to PC, is going to Steam even. And I was just like, yeah, if I got a PC and a Switch or whatever Nintendo's doing, I'll probably be all right.
You probably will.
But yeah, it's I don't like how fussy PC stuff can be from time to time, but generally just booting up Switch and just firing up a game is easy, So I don't want the fidgetiness of the Steam Deck, but I like the idea of like having more of my library available there. Sure. Specifically because I've been focused on growing my PC library over my other stuff.
I do feel like the fidgetiness, or whatever we're calling it, will probably only come with bigger games. Like, I bet you just booting up something like Vampire Survivors will run flawlessly. Like, it'll just be fine, right? Because it's
that feels like that would run on a donut.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I imagine a lot of those games, a lot of the indie games will be perfectly fine. I bet it's stuff like, Control or Doom or Red Dead Redemption, if that ever came to it, or whatever, things like that, like Dark Souls and stuff, like those bigger experiences. I feel like you will probably have to have the developers do some kind of work, or you're going to have to like rely on the community of people saying, hey, these are the best settings I got, like on my Steam Deck, like by turning this like anti-aliasing to this and the resolution to this or whatever, I managed to get 60 frames in Dark Souls. And then you'll have to do that yourself.
So,
but
I don't mind
doubt like a
optimized
lot of
settings as long as I don't need to like install a new OS or like
no,
do a
it
bunch
won't
of
be like
crazy
that.
stuff.
No, and I was actually listening to an interview with Gabe Newell this weekend where he talks about, why they don't, why they eventually stop like creating content for or like creating new versions of like things that they've released. So like, remember the Team Fortress 2 conversation we had where, they seem to be very focused on like, okay, here's a product. This is like the base of it, release it out into the wild, get it as finely tuned as you can, and then leave it to the community to do whatever they need to do, because the majority of the time they're going to like the internet is going to outsmart even like Valve. Like they're going to think of better things and like better optimizations. What I would imagine they're going to do at some point, or it would make sense for them to do, is be like, all right, community members can make profiles in specific games and then they can somehow, and it would probably be like a future title thing, but like they could then export them and be like, hey, if you want, if you care less about graphics and more about frame rate, like these are the settings, like just download this config file. And then people could probably like vote on it. Like that seems like a system that would make sense with that, and people I think would dick around with.
They had like Steam Workshop different stuff.
That's what I mean.
That brings me back to the problem with that, because that all sounds great on paper, but then when we go back to my Team Fortress 2 conversation, it's been 2 years and they still haven't fixed major problems with that game. Major problems that the community cannot fix themselves.
Sure.
And they just don't care. So it's like, when does that happen to the Steam Deck? And they're like, well, it's not our problem now because we don't support it anymore.
Right.
Like
that's
but how quick does that happen? Because
that's literally any product suffers from that.
Sure.
But I get what you're saying.
I have this bad feeling like in the next 4 years or so, like they just won't care anymore because they'll be on to the next thing. They're like, oh, we've pioneered a new way for you to do whatever the hell, right? Yeah, and they just won't care, right?
There was
I don't know. I have this worry about it.
No, I get that. There one last thing on this. There was a tweet that Jess like, and she never does this. She was like, out of nowhere, pulled her phone out and was just like, how many people that own the Steam Deck have actually played a game all the way through, and how many of them are actually just sitting there booting up a game, seeing if it starts, playing for 20 minutes and moving on, like,
and then going, wow, that runs great, and then never actually,
and then never actually playing something on it.
Yeah, like having the experience of just playing a game.
Yeah.
Right?
Fast forward to 2 months from now when I've beaten 12 games on my Steam Deck and Chris's rage against me has never been hotter.
Yep.
When I'm just cranking through, I've like beaten up my entire backlog on the Steam Deck, and I'm just like, this. Probably not gonna happen.
Again, I want you to have everything that you want, but I am worried. Interested. I am worried about it a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm so intrigued to know how I'm gonna feel about it, because I have no idea. Part of the reason for me even forsaking it was like just because of that. It was like, A, how much am I gonna actually play this, and B, like if they don't abandon it, I can just get one later. Yeah.
Like it's not like they're releasing this one time and then never releasing more ever again. Especially if it's
0 out of 1,500 type of a situation.
Yeah. So I'm sort of just like, I'll come back to this.
Yeah.
I'll come back to this later. We'll see.
Yeah. But anyway, the other news that we had, which is not related but still very interesting, actually came out today, and that is does anybody have it pulled up?
I do.
I do.
They released. I'm assuming this is some. They said this was some, right?
Oh, I thought I had it open.
New PlayStation Plus games lineup revealed. Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and more. Sony has announced several games coming to its new PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers, including Red Dead Redemption 2, blah, blah, blah. Confirmed in a blog post, there are now 56 PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 titles confirmed for the $99 a year extra and $119 premium tiers. The premium tier also has 29 classic catalog games confirmed and another 29 PS3 games. I want to stop there and
because
point
they've
out.
said there's way more.
Well,
be on here, right?
No.
They
Didn't say
said
there
there
were,
was
like,
going to be up
hundreds
to
of games?
700, but then we remember we had the question. It was like, how many of those are just streaming?
Right. We did ask that question. I imagine what they will do is release, like, it's almost like Nintendo with Switch Online and Xbox with Game Pass. You don't want to, for lack of a better phrase or more appropriate one, you don't want to blow your load all at once. And I'm okay with this. Like, I like the idea that you have something to look forward to. It'd be kind of like lame if they like. It's kind of like Netflix, where it's like, oh, Tommy Boy is now on Netflix, and it wasn't a month ago. Like, now I can watch it. If they do this in drips and drabs, like, it gives you something to look forward to. Like, would I have played Mario Golf on the Switch online if it was just sitting there? Probably not. But, like, it was a big thing when it dropped, and I was like, all right, I'll play it for a little bit. The
marketing around the moment is super important.
Yeah, it's a part of it. What I find most interesting about this whole thing is that we were under the impression, and I think it could still be the case, that PS3 games are streaming through this platform. We were under the impression that it was still going to be using the PlayStation Now technology. It's very possible that that is the case. It would be weird if it was, though, because they've dropped, like, literally over 200 games from it. There's 29 PS3 games on this.
Yeah.
What happened to the others?
It's probably licensing, right?
Not on their own games. Killzone's not on there. Heavenly Sword, I don't think, is on there.
I thought I saw Heavenly Sword.
Let me look.
But yeah, like, it definitely seems like either this is not
Heavenly Sword is
all
not
of the
on
games. Yeah. This is either not all of the games that they're going to be announcing before the launch. Or, like, if this is everything they launch with, that's fine, I guess. But
No,
I think this is everything they're launching with. It's this.
The download games, I think specifically, are pretty good. It's the we'll get to it.
I think it's this, and then there was also the announcement of the Ubisoft stuff, which
yeah. Which is the 3-star, the 3 asterisk stuff, like Far Cry 3 Remastered, Far Cry 4.
Just so funny to me that they are like, yeah, the Division, but, like, not the Division 2, not the game that they still support. They're like, oh, this old one, this game you can buy literally for like $5 at any GameStop.
Yeah.
Throw that in. What a great deal. It's like, so funny,
why don't we, Chris, can you go ahead and read through these different lists?
Of
Please,
what?
Sir.
Of what?
Yeah, of like the stuff that they announced.
The games, or?
Yeah, the games.
I'm not going to read every game.
Well, there's not that many.
There's I'm not going to read 100 games.
There's over 100.
There's over 100 games on that. I'm not. We're not doing that.
What's some notable stuff?
All right. So the big ones that we have that are downloadable, that I think it's a smart move on their part. We have Death Stranding and Death Stranding Director's Cut. That's all of these. I'm going to say all these include the PS5 versions for brevity's sake. Demon's Souls, Destruction All Stars, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Returnal, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Control, Ultimate Edition, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K22. A lot of games that
have been on PlayStation Plus. A lot of games that have been on PS Plus.
The Artful Escape. Yeah, but a lot of games that haven't, too. At least half of those have not been on PlayStation Plus yet.
Sure.
They're also games that people like us are likely to own.
Yeah, this is one of the things. I was looking through that list, and I don't think there's a single game on there that I don't have had the opportunity to get or couldn't get really cheap. I know it's not for me. I know it's not for me. I know it's not for me, but
still,
it sucks when something like Game Pass is for me.
It's also like, what is there for them to give you to incentivize you, right? Like, there
stuff
aren't
like Game Pass, new stuff.
No. There aren't that many. What I'm saying is there aren't that many first-party PlayStation games, or there aren't that many like current gen first-party games at this point. There just aren't.
But
really.
there are also second and third-party games on these lists. So like it would be stuff like that. You know, or first party stuff that like I haven't gotten or whatever.
Yeah, I mean a lot of the games that you're like third party partners, again, they're games that like we've already played. Celeste, Dead Cells, Hollow Knight.
Is Forbidden West on there and Kena and all that sort of stuff?
No. Why would that be on there? Forbidden West came out 3 months ago.
Ghost of Tsushima's on there.
Because that would be something that would be interesting
to
me.
What I imagine they're going to do is they will release games at retail for like $70 or whatever they're doing. And then like a year to year and a half after the fact, they will end up on here.
So you think they'll go to PS Plus around the time that they're going to PC?
They will not release that quickly. What's the last PlayStation game we've had on PC? Days Gone? That was like 2 years ago.
I mean, Returnal's coming soon.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? No way.
You didn't see that? I think they announced that like a few weeks ago.
I did not see that.
Is Forbidden West not already on Epic?
No.
They've definitely advertised it there.
On Epic?
Yeah. They've definitely advertised it.
I'm calling shenanigans on this right now. I am opening the Epic Game Store. I call the highest degree of bullshit.
I don't. It may not be out, but I've seen.
You've seen Horizon Complete Edition, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. They have why would they put like one of their console exclusive titles this early in the generation on PC? At this point, when they want everybody to go out and buy a PS5.
Money?
You can't buy a PS5 and you can sell copies.
Yeah.
I never said it was a good idea. I'm just saying that's how they operate. It's not on there.
Okay.
We haven't had a PlayStation. The last PlayStation port we had was God of War, and it was in January of this year.
Jesus Christ, the Epic Store loads so slowly.
Womp. The next one is supposed to be Uncharted 4, and we don't even know when that's going to be. There haven't been any other, as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, there have not been any other PlayStation Studios games announced for PC at this point. They bought that port house.
I'm pretty sure I saw Returnal was coming to PC.
That got leaked in an NVIDIA thing. But that is all I've seen.
I thought I saw that like officially, but maybe I'm crazy.
I think you're smoking the ganj.
I mean, not right now.
According to a new leak, Sony began its PC game development in January 2020. This new leak also points to several more PS4 games heading to PC, including Ghost of Tsushima, Ratchet and Clank. Recently, SteamDB has been updated with a number of hidden listings under the PlayStation PC publisher page, indicating more game announcements on the way. In particular, Sackboy: A Big Adventure already seems to have been confirmed for PC via SteamDB, but the rest of these titles have yet to be corroborated.
Okay. Thank you for helping us do our due diligence, Chris.
Bam.
Yeah, on the streamable stuff on PS3, they did add the three main things that I wanted them to add, which is Infamous 1, Infamous 2, and Festival of Blood. I'm surprised that they put Festival of Blood, but I am pleased.
I'm not surprised they put that there.
Yeah.
I think people would have lost their fucking minds if that game wasn't
It's a
there.
really short game. I feel like almost nobody talked about it.
It wasn't very good.
I liked it a lot. I thought the powers were fun.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't better than the other games, is what I mean.
No.
No,
Yeah.
I mean it was like
But it was
like
more
a
infamous
goofy.
too.
Yeah, it was a goofy spin-off thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
You want to be vampire?
Yeah, like the other ones that are on here, they're not amazing, or at least there's some good ones. But like Rain is a very weird choice.
Yeah.
That's a very like low
Very
key
odd choice.
Japan studio game. Tokyo Jungle, which is like a
Tokyo
meme.
Grundle.
Yeah, Tokyo Grundle. Tokyo Jungle, Super Stardust HD, Resistance 3 and not 1 or 2, which I think is just like blasphemous, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But
One
am I
thing
to
I
say?
will say, one thing that I was pleased about, and I'm sure you both saw this, the little text where it was talking about PlayStation 1 games and PSP games. If you've purchased these before, you will not need to be subscribed to PS Plus to play them, and you will not need to buy them again.
Good.
That was exactly what
yeah.
Josh went on about the one day.
Yeah.
And I agree with you.
Good.
But the thing that
I want
sucks
to be
is
able to
it's
play
still
my
that way
copy
for
of
PS.
Parappa the Rapper that I bought like way back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And I bought some PS1 classics. Like I bought
Mhm.
a bunch of Final Fantasy games on PS1. I bought
Yeah.
like and I think it's on there, like Wild Arms 3. I bought Wild Arms 3 for PS1 and I think I had it loaded up on Vita and I just never played it. I'd like to.
I
but-
think I have that game also, and I did the same thing where it's like one day I'll get to this and then
Yeah.
haven't. But you know,
Oh,
it's
that's
there.
Beat. Oh well.
What?
There's like a whole thing with the Jack and Daxter ports on PS4 that like they don't run correctly. Like you can play them, but like I can't remember
Not
who it
right?
was. Yeah, like something's not right with them. I can't remember what it is. But like those are the ones that they're like Jack and Daxter play the PS4 pre-release, and it's like all right. Yeah, like they have all
so they're
those.
just not putting the PS3 one up.
Yeah, they're not putting the PS3 one up, or like they're not emulating. They're
well
emulating PS2, but I think that's what it was actually, Josh.
Play the shittiest version of it.
The PS3 one was like an HD remaster, and the one that's on PS4 is like a PS2 emulated version or something. It's like something along those lines.
Right.
They did all of the hard work and then put it on the most inaccessible platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Siphon Filter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say the list of PlayStation 1 games is actually surprisingly small.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
like at least at the jump. Like there's stuff on here that I would think would be on here that isn't.
You know what I would love it if they added like all of the real classics. Like if I can play Final Fantasy Tactics or Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions on PS5, that'll be dope. I'll be very excited about that.
I don't think that'll ever happen.
Probably just play them on your Steam Deck.
I mean, I could play them on my Vita, but what if I want to play them on the big screen?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, fair enough.
I don't know.
but-
Also, you can't get War of the Lions on Steam, right?
On Steam doesn't mean you can't play it on your Steam Deck.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is really starting though to like beg the question of like how many places do I really need to be able to play
Exactly.
these games? Like how
Exactly.
many devices
and
do I need?
And the answer to that is
How many-
one, and it's PC.
How many more
Put
of these
all the
boxes?
shit on fucking PC, and it'll just work.
How many more of these boxes that I don't turn on do I need to have in my
Right,
house?
right. That just
Yeah.
jack up my electric bill and don't get updates when I want them to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing. Is like I don't want to manage all of these things. I want to be fine if my PS5 accidentally falls into the sea. I want to be fine.
I
want
get
to be
it.
able to have all my shit on PC.
I get it.
Where I'm already doing shit anyway. I'm on a PC right now doing this podcast and this stream.
Wait, you're not on your Game Boy Micro?
No, that's where I normally do it from. But
That's where
not
I
this
am.
time. but you're using the printer.
Yeah.
The Game Boy camera.
Game Boy camera.
Each frame at a time.
Amazing resolution that you've been able to get. Just mind blowing.
That modding community has really gone far.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the fucking modding community is great.
Speaking of mods,
random
segue. I'm not getting my pinball machine back from my parents. My mother is like addicted to it. And I went over and I modded it this weekend for her, and I put like all the Williams pinball tables on there, like Attack from Mars, and there's like some like I don't know, there's some desert one, and she was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." I'm never seeing that thing again.
Until the next time you go over and see your mother.
Yeah, and then when I go over...
Like, can I play the pinball machine? She's like, no.
Dude, it happened. I went over and I was like, oh, I'll play a quick game. And like I played like one, I was thinking maybe a second. And she like heard it in the other room. She was like, "Ow, what are you doing? Can I get in?" Like, god damn.
She's like, step aside.
Yeah.
Let me show you how it's done, Tail.
There was a point where I was playing it, and she was like, "You're too close." I was like, "All right, Mom. I'm gonna leave now."
Don't breathe on my machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, put more tables on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, talking about games, let's talk about some games.
Okay.
Let's talk about some games we've been playing. I talked about it earlier, but I played Vampire Survivors.
Oh my god, he finally did it.
Oh my god.
I did it. I've unlocked like 12 characters or something.
Yeah, I forget how many there are. But
I was trying to get the Fire Wand one, which looks like Alucard, but
he's great.
It's all a bunch of
Arca.
It's all a bunch of Castlevania character knockoffs.
Oh yeah. It just leans in.
Yeah, I've definitely found, and they all have like the most ridiculous, stupid names. It's like Gallardo Vesputa, and it's like this is not a name. What are you doing?
They're like, they throw Santa water, and you're like, right on.
Yeah, Santa water was really good. Yeah, I've definitely found that, like, looking at in my this is inside baseball thing that I just need to talk to Josh about. I've definitely noticed that, like, no matter what build I do, Rune Tracer does the most damage. Anytime that Rune Tracer is anywhere in my build, it always out damages everything else.
I forget which one that is.
That's the one that like goes through enemies and like bounces off.
Oh, that one is secretly like amazing.
And then the ultimate thing is that it just blows up whenever it gets to walls and comes back, and just does a ridiculous sometimes it's laughable. Like it does like 4, 5, 6 times as much damage as like the next highest damaging thing. But yeah, I tend
You'll see some of the builds you make later are ridiculous.
Yeah.
When you start getting arcanas and stuff.
Yeah, I got the one where I basically need to be stacking garlic now because I've got the health arcana, which is just like the first one that you get, I think.
I think so, yeah. My favorite one is there's one where it makes like all of the wand projectiles and a couple other ones bounce up to 5 times.
Oh wow.
So like in those moments where you get surrounded, you just have all this stuff bouncing, and it's fucking amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a simple game. Although I did
but it's so compelling.
I know. I was like, I'm not sure I want to use the word addictive here.
It's pretty addictive.
Because there is like that like mental health, like legitimate like gambling addiction style, like I have to do it, I need to do it, like, and I don't want to make light of that. But at the same time, I did feel like,
just one more, man.
I should probably play more.
I could do another run.
Yeah, like but then those runs could last like 20 minutes plus, you know.
Have you actually finished a run? Because they do end.
They do? Oh, I've never done that.
They do.
I did a bonus level
when you get to 30 minutes.
15 minutes. I got to 15 minutes, and then somebody came and murdered me instantly.
Yeah, so on...
This giant guy with a scythe just came out of nowhere, and I just instantly was dead.
Were you playing on the mode that makes the time go faster or something. Because like when you get to
maybe
when
it
you
was
get
a bonus. It was like the first bonus level or something. First or second
'cause
bonus level.
when you get to 30 minutes, all the enemies get wiped away, and then this Grim Reaper that you can't kill comes out and just like kills you. And then you get like bonus gold for actually making it 30 minutes. And that's like you finished the run. So your runs will only ever go 30 minutes.
So if you do it hyper, is there any difference other than it just lasts half as long?
There's like 3 settings. Like one of them's hyper, which makes the I think the amount of gold you get goes up, and also all of the speed of the game is like I think doubled or something. So you move faster, enemies move faster, like everything's faster. Except for the clock. And then there's another setting where you can make the clock, I think, go faster also. It's called like rush mode.
Oh, hurry.
But
yeah, it's
hurry. Yeah.
I thought that was hyper, but yeah. So what I think I was running I don't think I was doing hurry, but I was on like a bonus level, and it was like 15 minutes on the dot. This giant thing came out of nowhere and just instantly homed in on me and killed me. So is that when you're doing it on like 15-minute mode, do you still get that bonus gold, or is it just?
I think so. Okay. I don't know. I usually don't play with hurry on. I play with hyper and the Arcanus.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. It's only $3. It's like it is dumb fun. It is a single stick shooter.
You literally move. That's it. I have 55 hours in that game, and I've only
and you pick your upgrades whenever you get experience. It's the simplest game, but it's still pretty fun.
It's pretty damn fun. There's something really compelling about it.
Is really difficult. Is that like the last level?
The one where you only go up and down?
Yeah.
No. There's a couple bonus levels.
I have like 4 bonus levels, but other than that, like I've only got those 4 like main levels.
The one challenge that I'm still trying to do is you need to there's a bonus stage called the Bone Zone. And
is that where Mortaccio is from?
It's only like skeleton enemies and stuff.
Okay.
But there's a challenge that says survive 30 minutes in the Bone Zone. And I've made it to 29 minutes like 5 times, because at that final minute is so insane that I just haven't been able to get through it.
Yeah.
But one day I'll survive the Bone Zone.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
All it takes is a little bit of practice.
For a game that's only $3, man, I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of it, because I've played it a lot.
It's been really great, because we've been watching Scandal and Bridgerton, and it's been like something that I've just had on like a side screen and stuff like that. It's definitely going to be like, if this game runs on Steam Deck, it's going to be on there, and this will just be like a kind of chill, don't have to pay attention, can still listen to the show and kind of watch it out of the corner of my eye while I'm doing this. It's like a very, but because of that, I'm also kind of like, I shouldn't play this game because I'm not really engaging with it. And like there's no substance to this game at all. It is pure, just weird, like
potato chips of
pleasure.
video game.
It is the potato chips of video games. Yes,
it is very much a like potato chips video game. And
it is just junk food. It's fun, but it's just
overwhelming brain drug.
Yes.
At all times, but it's good. That's the thing. I think that's why people are connecting with it and why they keep updating it. It's still in early access. They just this week added like I think a new weapon and a new character and a few other things just this week. So we'll see.
It's kind of like, what if My Name is Mayo was a real game?
How dare you? My Name is Mayo is a real game.
But like, what if it had
Isn't that that game where all you just did was
you just tap the mayonnaise jar until you get a platinum trophy?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I'm not proud of it. I did that shit.
Oh, I did it.
Vampire Survivors is much more complicated than that.
It is, but it's
all about
it's just simple.
It's just a positioning game at the end of the day. But like your your builds actually do have to be slightly smart. Like sometimes, like you have to actually pick stuff that you know is going to do well. Because some things seem like super God, what's the word? They seem like just very attractive in the moment where it's like 8% more XP. And you're like, oh hell yeah, that'll be great. But then when you're maxed out, you know, that 8% XP, you're like, this doesn't do anything for me. Like I could have had like more projectile speed or something, right? So like there is a little bit of that push and pull of like what do I pick and what's gonna help me, what's gonna be better in the long run, or am I gonna die on the 15-minute mark or
I
whatever?
haven't looked anything up, but I legitimately did walk for like there was a moment the other night when I was like, fuck this game. Where like I literally walked for like 8 minutes across the screen to get to a question mark where I was like, I bet this is where the coffin is, and I need to like do something with this coffin to get something. And I literally
characters are in there.
And I got there, and I literally just walked there and just picked up whatever experience I got along the way, but like I wasn't stopping. I was just moving, which means I wasn't really farming. I wasn't really leveling up that much. And by the time I got there, there were really powerful enemies near there, and I was doing no damage to them, and I couldn't kill anybody, and everybody just closed in on me, and I just died as I was trying to get through the giant ring of monsters to get to the coffin. And I was just like, this sucks, man. I was trying to do one thing, and I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, you gotta like actually build up, you know, you gotta play. You can't just like run to the objective. Like you gotta actually play.
Yeah.
Like I would say the same thing about like a Souls game, right? Like you can't just run to the. I was surprised though,
because
you know,
the other times I'd been near coffins and other levels, I'd still been building up and I'd still been playing, but like I still couldn't clear that ring. I couldn't get anywhere near them. And I was like, okay, well maybe I'll head over there while the rest of the enemies are weaker. But it just did not work that way.
Once you start getting the upgrades, like just the having more projectiles and stuff, like just by default, that helps a lot because you just start pretty strong and you'll stay pretty strong if you can keep like a good build going.
The thing that I did was I did the thing that I do always in any of these games, which is if there's a currency that unlocks things permanently, the first upgrade I do maxes out my bonus to obtain that currency. So I have full greed now, and then I don't have that many points to do other things. I think I have like +1 projectiles and some other stuff, but it's really fun. It's a really cheap game, and it's just big dumb fun. So that's one game that I've been playing.
Big dumb fun is a good way to put it.
I also played through Twin Breaker. Have either of you played this game?
This is the Colin Moriarty game?
Yeah.
I have not.
It's a brick breaker.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It looks fun.
I played through and I beat it. It has a totally ridiculous story about like generation ships setting out from Earth to like colonize the galaxy, which is completely unnecessary. It does not need to have a story, but it does.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It does some interesting things. I haven't played. The reason I got it was real cheap, and I haven't played a brick breaker since I had like a BlackBerry.
God,
like it was.
Remember ages. How good it played on a BlackBerry with the ball?
Yeah, it did.
No, because I didn't have a BlackBerry.
And Snake too.
Oh my God, it was so good.
You remember playing Snake with the rolling ball? It was so good.
Oh,
that shit was lit.
Yep. Bring the ball back. Yeah,
I hadn't played a brick breaker since then, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, and I did. I popped out my old DualShock 4, fired up Twin Breaker, which I bought like a long time ago, but I just hadn't played. And I know that like Lily Mo is focused on like specifically making arcade games, and I saw a thing for Habroxia too. I think I'm gonna pick that one up as well. It's like a side-scrolling shooter game that really reminds me of like this old game I played when I was a kid on the Magnavox Odyssey 2, which I can't remember the name of the game, but that was a really early. It's like kind of like Rygar or something, right? Is it Rygar?
You've gone too far, my friend. You're too old.
Is it Rygar? I can't remember. But there's like it was Rygar like a side-scrolling.
Is the name of a game? Yeah.
You control. Yeah, but I can't remember if that's like a gladiator like side-scrolling action game or if it's like you move the ship around and blast lasers out towards the side as you fly forward.
It's the ship one.
Okay, then I think it's probably like Rygar. But like it looks cool, and I'm just like, yeah, I could go for that. Where you like pick up like a spread shot upgrade, and then you're like flying around and shooting stuff, or you pick up like a laser beam upgrade or something. And I want to play some more of those arcade style games. And like the Mega Man, like I've just kind of got a hankering for like these sort of fast, like kind of twitchy action games. But it was good. There's a lot of like interesting power-ups to it, like your classics like multi-ball and like slow ball and like expand your reflective platform. But then it does some different stuff that I haven't seen where like it's a twin stick brick breaker. So like you're controlling two different paddles at the bottom of the screen, but there are like different there are like places that are automatically covered. So like you'll see like some spaceport like platform or something. So it'll automatically bounce off the bottom there, but then there'll be some parts to the left or right that you need to defend. And then there's other parts of the game where they'll have them like Pong-like, where you'll be controlling ones on the left and right. And then it throws a twist at you where you're controlling ones that are on, you're controlling two reflecting platforms on the bottom and two on the sides. And they go on the X and the Y axis of your sticks.
Oh, wow.
So when you move up and down on the left stick, it moves the one on the far left side. When you move left and right on the left stick, it moves the one on the bottom left. And then like you're controlling that. So it's like they really expect you to get kind of nuts. And some of those are hard. Like some of those, you know, but like you can spend like if you're good at racking up points, you can spend those like 100 of those points for an extra life and stuff like that. So you can play through in score chase if you want to, or if you just want to play through just to one and done it, like you can do that too, which is what I did. And I had a good time with it. I think I only played it for like, I think it was like 3-4 hours or something like that, and then I was done.
Nice.
But yeah, it was like a nice brisk game. It's real fun.
That's cool.
So I recommend it. It's another great thing to have when your wife is watching Bridgerton or Scandal on the TV.
Well, in that same vein, and because of the whole pinball debacle I've been dealing with, I actually have gone in and like everyone has probably seen these at this point, but Zen Pinball has a game on like it's on everything. It's on iOS, Android, PS4, Switch.
Didn't they give that away on Epic?
They probably did. But like the Zen Pinball game, I think it's called Pinball FX3 on like console. You can buy different tables, and they're like $2 or $3 like per table or whatever. But there's a Portal one. Like there's a whole bunch of them, but like the ones I've been playing, it's like Portal, Doom. There's a Bob's Burgers one.
Yo, that's cool.
Yeah, but that Portal table on the Switch OLED, holy shit. First of all, it looks beautiful. Like, I can't believe how good this game looks. And the, like, just the loop of it, I don't know what it is. Like, I've just been, there aren't many games that I've played that I've gotten, like, really into, like, chasing my own high score. And for some reason, like, this Portal Pinball on Switch, like, I've just been over and over again. I think Saturday morning I probably played it for like 3 or 4 hours. Like that's all I did.
Is there a leaderboard?
Yeah. And it's like $2 or $3 on Switch. Like it's worth just that to like dick around with it a little bit.
You need more $2 to $3 games that are like engaging and you know, repeatable.
Yeah.
Got a lot of replay value. No, so the game that I thought that they had Zen Pinball on Epic, but the one that they gave away
Demon's Tilt
fairly recently was Demon's Tilt.
Yeah.
I have that downloaded. I have not played it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Sam Adams is a big fan of that game.
That's awesome.
Me.
I'm excited. Yeah, I downloaded that because I was like, yo, there's been a lot of talk on this show about pinball. I've been meaning to get into it, and then they're just like, boom, Demon's Tilt. There you go. And I'm like, it's dark, like evil magic pinball. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been into a pinball game since Metroid Prime Pinball, maybe.
I was obsessed with that. It's so funny you say that. There was a couple months ago, I busted out I have a DSi XL with like an R4 card on it, and I would play that before bed. And out of nowhere, like, I mean, really, I got this pinball table, and I found this Portal Pinball, and like you have to go through. There's like, I don't think I'll ever see the end of it. You have to beat like 6 challenge stages or whatever, like test chambers. I think you have a fight with GLaDOS at the end of it. Like, I could only beat like maybe 2 of them. it's just I'm amazed that people are even able to like make it that far into a game of pinball. But it's so much fun.
People get good, man.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. It's just a great like, you know what? I got like 20 minutes. I'll just do this real quick. Like versus this weekend when I was playing Hollow Knight, it was like, all right, I have 5 hours. Let me let me get into that.
Let's how much further did you get?
So today I beat the Lost Kin.
Lost Kin.
So that is after you get the double jump, and then there's like the Dreamer fight against that boss. It's like a little guy with like the fungus. I think it's like a fungus or something coming out of his head, and then the little floaty guys are coming around.
Yeah.
The whole time. Yeah. So I beat that today.
Yeah, that was a tough fight for me.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That
was really tough.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was trying to do it handheld. I couldn't. I was trying to do it with that 8-bit Dude controller. I couldn't. And then I grabbed the Switch Pro because the 8-bit Dude was actually like I was missing inputs. Like I could tell like something didn't feel right. And as soon as I switched the controller, it was like, oh shit, like this is it. I can feel it.
Did you hold on? Let me see. Have you fought Nosk?
Which one's that?
How do
you spell it?
Nosk. Have you?
No.
Don't look it up.
No, I haven't.
Don't look it up.
I haven't. Okay. That doesn't look familiar. So I was in that area though, if that's where I think it is.
Yeah, it is. It is in that area.
So I did.
Did you see anything suspicious?
There was another one I did where, there was it was one of the Dreamer guys, where he was dead, and he would like throw like a scythe and it would like spin around, and then he had 2 more orbs that he would try and hit you with. I beat that one yesterday. I feel like I have all.
Is that the Traitor Lord?
No, he's like some big round dude. It was in like the Spider Den area. But I feel like I have all of the like traversal type upgrades at this point. Like I can finally like any platform that I looked at and be like, God, like if only I had the thing. Like I finally have all of those, and now I just have to go back and like really explore all these areas in this game.
I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited for you to continue on because that Dreamer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, some of those are pretty tough. That might have been Markoth.
That sounds right.
He's got like a bead necklace, like a big ball necklace.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of like red.
No, he's green.
Green?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Marmu? Was it that little worm-looking dude in the grassy area?
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. That's not a big deal.
It's not Marmu.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I love Hollow Knight.
Excited.
I finally am at a point now with it where I feel like I can actually make my way through, and like it's not going to be as frustrating because like I was in the Crystal Caverns and I was like, I know there's another thing here that I can get to, and I don't know where it is or how I can get to it.
Yeah.
And then I finally like figured that out, and then it was like off to the races from there. Yeah. I made a lot of progress yesterday. So I don't know how anybody could like. I was looking at actually I should do that now. I was looking at how long to beat. They said it was like 10 hours. These people are out of their goddamn minds. I'm like 20 hours into this game. Okay, 26 and a half hours for the main story. 40 and a half for main and extras.
Yes, yeah, it says how long to beat. It says 26 and a half hours.
I don't know why I thought it was 10. I was like, there's no way.
There's no way. Also, the only frame of reference I have for how long it took me to beat this game was when I was writing the guide for it.
Right.
And you can basically double. So I was like, dang, like, because I worked for like 90 hours on this guide. So like my save says like between 90 and 100 hours or something.
Yeah.
But main plus extra and completionist is between 40 and 59 hours. So actually, I did pretty good.
What I find funny, because I've been looking at your guide from time to time, just be like, what should I do next? But I looked at yours, and then there was another one from another like outlet. I can't remember who it was. And it's amazing how different they are. Like,
really?
it's amazing how many things you can do out of order. Like yours, there was a bunch of shit I did before, like, what would be the end of the game for yours. And I'm like, oh, I already did that. And then I was like, wait. And I looked up, and I was like, I didn't do that yet. And then I realized I could go back and, like, find that area. It's, like, very interesting. Yeah.
Huh. I was going to ask if you read it in his voice.
Yes.
I hope that you're finding it useful. That is probably, if you had to, I haven't looked back at any of my guides like lately, but if I had to say the guide that I was the most proud of, it's probably that one.
That is a good guide. I'm not saying it's a bad guide. It is. It's difficult to use.
You say whatever you want.
No. You know what it is? It's not even that guide. It's any guide for this game, and like any game like this, when it's like, okay, I'm in this area and I want to get this thing. Like, I could be up here on the map, and then the guide is talking about, like, no, you're down. Like, but if you start from down here, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm already up here. And it's like, all right, like, I think you have to, like, get back to a frame of reference and then follow the guide. It's just the curse of, like, a Metroidvania and trying to follow along with, like, a text guide.
Where you can approach, like, that would be like trying to, I mean, I didn't write the Elden Ring guide walkthrough,
right?
But like that would be like, okay, if you finished this and if you did that, then go here next,
right?
Like,
that's every Elden Ring guide I've looked at, like, it's like you have to go down a rabbit hole to figure out what you're trying to get. So you'd search for, like, I need smithing stones, and then they're like, all right, which ones? And you're like, I need, smithing stone 1, and it's like, where can I just buy them? And it's like, well, you can buy them if you go to this dungeon and kill this boss and give this to this person. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Like,
otherwise, you can buy them in limited capacities from this merchant and this merchant, but they only have 6. Like,
yeah, or you look up, like, a boss guide, and it's like, well, if you use the whatever the fuck, some weapon name or some item, and you're like, the what? And then you have to look that up, and it's like, well, if you go way over here and do this, like...
Yeah, you're working your way backwards.
Like, Jesus Christ.
This boss is really easy to beat with this weapon from Caelid, and it's like, okay, where is it in Caelid? And it's like, oh, to beat this boss, to get this weapon, you really should have a friend or have this specific type of consumable item.
I'm just imagining like Josh reading one of these guides, like, but Hank Hill is like his inner monologue. I need the what?
I need the what now?
What in the goddamn?
I just want a goddamn hot dog.
One of my favorite Hank Hill memes had to do with Final Fantasy 14, and it was Hank Hill dressed up like a red mage, and it just said, "Do I look like I know what a goddamn server tick is? Like, I just hit the buttons." And I thought that was pretty fucking funny. But yeah, I am definitely like that with those kind of games where I'm like, how do I get this thing? And they're like, well, here's this journey you need to go on to get this very simple thing.
That's happened a couple times with this,
boy.
where I was like, I know there's a double jump in this game. Where the fuck is it? And they were like, oh, well, you have to go here. And I was like, cool, haven't been there yet. Like, don't even know where that is. And then
they're like, by the way, you shouldn't go here yet, though, if you don't have to.
Right.
You should have at least this nail upgrade. You should have this, and you should be able to crystal fly. And it's just like, The thing about double jump is I feel like out of all the games that have double jump, Hollow Knight gives it to you so late.
Yes.
Like, you get so many other things. Like, usually in these sorts of games, like, double jump is like one of the first things you get.
I think part of the reason they do it is because there are so many... In every, like, designated area, there are so many places in which you can get to, like, a double jump spot that you normally couldn't get to otherwise.
Yeah.
And there are so many upgrades in the game that they want you to be able to obtain. So, like, on your way to those places, you defeat enemies, and then you're gaining currency while you're doing it. Like, it's almost a necessity for you to be like, all right, now... Because if you were to do that in the beginning of the game, like, you wouldn't be able to buy all the upgrades by the end of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a fascinating thing about it is that, like, kind of like Zelda and very unlike Souls, you don't level up in that game.
No.
You get new,
well,
like... you get new charms.
Yeah,
and
you get new charm slots,
you
and
increase the power of your nail.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's more like Zelda in that way. Than,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
oh,
it's a lot like Zelda, where like Link doesn't get more powerful.
No.
I mean, you get more powerful. Link himself isn't more powerful. Like, he doesn't get +3 strength or something like that, you know?
Right.
He just gets a better weapon and some better armor and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Which I like. I think that idea is interesting. It's a different way to explore things. But yeah. Josh, what have you been up to? I got some more stuff to talk about, but I want to hear about what you guys have been up to.
Well, how much more? Because we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are an hour and a half. I guess I can move one of my things to next week.
I think Soundfall I can be quick on.
Yeah. I've played a little bit of it, so I feel like we can be pretty quick on it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then I can just leave my I can leave my other thing for next week, I guess.
Sure.
Talk to me about Soundfall.
Go, Josh.
So Soundfall is how do you even describe it? It's a rhythm-based twin stick shooter / action RPG.
Yes.
Like how do you So it's very similar to like Krypto of the Necrodancer.
It's also very similar to, if there's probably like a dozen of us that have played this, bullets per minute, which is like if Doom met Krypto the Necrodancer. Like that's like a first person like heavy metal version of it.
So yeah, it's like that. There's like 5 different characters you can play. It has a lot of different music, actually. I was very surprised at the variety. Like you'd think a game like this would be just full of EDM, but no, it's like EDM, Celtic music, classical, heavy metal, like rap. There's a lot of stuff. And
they're all themed around the world that you're in, right?
Yeah, so like they all on top of sorting through, or when you go to like free play or whatever, in Rock Band or something, you would sort through like artist or genre or whatever. You can sort through like biome in this game. So if you're like, I remember there was a song in the jungle level and I don't remember what it was called, then you can just sort like biome jungle and then you see all the songs there or whatever and try to find it. It's interesting. Interesting to good, I would say. Like it's I don't know how you feel about it, Chris. I don't know that I love it, but I definitely like it.
I appreciate what it's trying to do.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
My main thing is, and this is maybe going to be shocking to some people, but like everybody told me like I would love Krypto the Necrodancer, and I played it for a solid 5 minutes before I went, I don't like this.
Same for me.
Yeah. I just didn't. I love rhythm games and music games. I don't like that.
It felt super restrictive to me.
I don't like the just like hitting on the metronome like over and over again, right? Which this game does, but it ties. Like, you have to use more buttons and stuff, but you have to do your actions on the beat. So it's a little different, and you don't have to hit every beat. So you can skip beats too, which just means you'll do like twice as less stuff. But it's cool. I think the UI is cool. I love the character designs. The writing's really goofy. I think the music's actually really good in it, and it has the ability for you to put your own songs in it, which is also
if the music wasn't good, that would be a huge problem, I would think.
Sure.
The music is good in that I think they are fun songs to play. But I haven't had any that I've been like, this is a jam. Like, who's the artist? I need this on Spotify. Like, I haven't had that moment with it. But they are like, they're enjoyable to listen to. The song import feature, I'm assuming you're playing this on PC, Josh?
I am playing this on PC.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously the Switch version doesn't have that.
Right.
But Yeah, all the levels are procedurally generated based upon the song that you import into the game. If you were to do that.
Because normally each song has a design. You go into it and it's weird because you'd expect like the level to be designed around said song, but they don't really feel that way. They kind of just feel like levels.
I think what it is it basically will design a level, but it's a certain length in that, and on top of it, it would be like, okay, a person should be able to get through this entire thing by the time the song is over. Because if you notice, like, if you go past, you get through that repeat, and it starts playing the song again, like, your rating just isn't as good as it would have been otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I have noticed that. I also have noticed that, like, every time I start to, like, at least for me, I feel like I start to get into the song and on the groove, I either finish the level or the song ends.
Yep.
And it's like, man, I almost feel like they could have been, like, slightly longer. Like, I get the impulse, right? Because, like, songs are generally, like, 3 to 4 minutes, if that, right? Like, on average, I would say.
Yeah.
So you were like, oh, the levels should be about that. But I always feel like if you're really going and you're geared up for the level you're playing, you kind of blaze through, and then, like, it might be a 3.5 minute song, and at 2 minutes 15 seconds you're like, oh, there's the exit. You know, like, you kind of blaze through and you're like, oh, well, I didn't quite feel like there was enough drama or just, like, time to really get, like, settled into something. It's like I got in and I got out, like, super fast.
I think that's one thing Krypto the Necrodancer does better than this game, is that their tracks, and I think a lot of it is because their tracks don't have any vocals, like, it is just like chiptune music. It's very easy to put those songs in a loop and not penalize the player. It's just like, no, they're exploring this dungeon.
Lyrics?
Yeah,
a lot of them do.
A lot of them do.
That might kill it for me.
Yeah.
I think they're good songs. A lot of them. Some of them I was, like, not as into.
Yeah, I haven't had any that I've listened to and I've been like, ugh, like.
Yeah. They're mostly good.
Yeah, they're mostly good, but that's just it. Like, a Krypto the Necrodancer song can go on a loop and you not notice it, whereas this is like, I've had songs where the last, like, 5 or 6 seconds,
the devil trigger.
It's starting to, like, fade out, and then you have, like, a few. Okay, and then the song picks up again, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
But it's just the nature of, the way it's designed. I think I like the idea of playing this multiplayer, even though I know I never will. I like that it has multiplayer. But I couldn't imagine being, like, in a party chat and playing this game, because, like, it requires so much focus. Like, you have to be on the beat, you have to be aiming at enemies and, like, doing that whole thing. And it's
like you have to be hyper focused for 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
At a time. You can't, like, zone in and out of it. It's weird.
Yeah, like, you want to enter it's almost like it's, like, fighting itself, where, like, you want to enter that flow state and, like, really be into something and be like, all right, I'm really into, like, this song or the beat or whatever. And you never really get there, or when you do, it's like, all right, the level's over, and then it's like,
level's over. Yeah,
I'm not that satisfied.
I was just feeling something. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel that too. Like, I feel like it's these, like, couple of not middling, that's the wrong word, like, couple of concepts, like, game concepts that are, like, mashed together, and they do work, but do they work, like, super well is maybe, like, the question I have. Like, and I would say they, like, do but don't. It's like they do work, because when I feel like when I'm playing and I'm, like, on the beat and I'm actually, like, doing well, it is pretty fun and, like, addictive, and, like, you get your gear or whatever, and if you're, like, into the song, I feel like you do get those moments where you're, like, really digging it, but they're a little few and far between.
Yeah,
it's like a bunch of different concepts sort of being, like, held together just in a weird way, and you're like, I can't say that this doesn't work, but does it work really well? And I feel like the answer is, like, not quite. right?
Yeah.
It's like it does and it doesn't. But
I mean,
it's cool, but yeah, I'm in a weird kind of, I have a weird opinion on it. I think you and I both feel kind of like it's like almost great, like it sounds really great on paper, and then when you actually get it, you're kind of like, oh, this is fine, I guess.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's exactly what they said it was going to be, but it's not as good as I want it to be.
Yeah. But
yeah. No,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I think there's a lot to like about it, but there's also just a lot about it that's just kind of strange and like doesn't feel great. Like it doesn't feel unfun. It just doesn't feel like maybe as fun as it could be, and I don't really know how you fix that, but
I
or
would
if
say
you even can, but.
I would say the same about the presentation. Like, I think the menus almost feel like something out of like a Flash game. Like I think they feel kind of, they do everything that they need to do, like in order for you to like upgrade your character and like manage your inventory and all that good stuff. But it's like the menus and the way that this story is presented to you feels a certain way, and then they have these animated sequences that are absolutely gorgeous, and they feel like they're from a completely different game.
Yeah.
And it's like
the animated sequences are really, really good.
Yeah, but it's like why doesn't the rest of the game have that kind of magic to it? Yeah, like it's just not as polished.
Yeah. It's a very interesting game that I can't really like put my finger on it, and maybe it gets better with age, but like I almost feel like just the core concept to me is like not as I don't know. It's like almost there, but not quite. And I don't think it's Soundfall's fault, I should say.
No.
I don't think it's like the designer's fault. I think it's just the like ideas that have been like stitched together don't quite necessarily go together or fit, or like no one has quite figured out, at least to me, how to make that sound better than it sounds on paper, or feel better than it sounds on paper, or as good as it sounds on paper.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you're interested, it's cheap. It's only like $30, like $29 or something like that.
I think it's on sale still. Like I got it on Switch for $25.
Yeah, so like if you want to try it out, I'd say go for it. I wouldn't say this is like the thing you should be playing right now, like it's amazing or whatever, but it has interesting ideas. You can tell like a lot of love went into it, but at the same time it's like it doesn't quite stick the landing, but I wouldn't say it's like bad. I'm sure there are going to be people out there that love it, but I don't feel like I don't feel like I love it. I feel like I'm like, this is pretty good. It's fine.
Yeah, I could see them releasing like different modes, and maybe having some sort of like loop to loot gathering. That could make it more appealing, where it's like the core gameplay's still there, but maybe you change up like how it interacts with the music and things like that. And that being more appealing, almost like a DLC type thing. But I think as it stands now, like I may dip back into it one or two more times, but I don't think it's going to keep me for much longer, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Hollow Knight.
I found myself having more fun playing it in free play than in the story mode, even though I thought a lot of the writing's actually kind of funny and like the characters are charming and like the art's really good and all that. But I just was like, in a weird way, also was kind of like, why does this have a story? You know what I mean? Because like it doesn't feel like it necessarily needs it at all. But
yeah, I think it actually would have been better had those text sections, like when you're in those menus, like in the menu for it, had they not been there and you just like progressed world to world and it had the cutscenes in it and you could just kind of fill in the gaps on your own. Like it explains so fucking much about what's happening in the world of this game, and it's like. And it's
not necessary.
Well, and it's only explained there. It's like, all right, cool. Like
it has like lore and stuff. Yeah,
I mean, and it's like you could have just lore? You could have made it like this, almost like I don't know, like some obscure like 80s thing that just has these like random cutscenes and like people just like, you know, fan art comes out from it of like, you know, this is what we think is happening in the world, like, and just like let the fan base run with it. That probably would have been better than, at least I think, what is in there. But
yeah, check it out if you're interested. But
yeah,
it kind of makes me want to play a rhythm game, but I'm not sure that it makes me want to play this rhythm game.
That's kind of the feeling I had while I was playing it. Like, I was like, maybe I should play Persona 4 Dancing all night. Again.
Yeah. Or, like, maybe give Krypto the Necrodancer another shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cool. Well, thanks.
Yeah, that sounds
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Soundfall.
This has been episode 231. Got a lot of these episodes out there.
Yeah.
Out there in the
really
wild.
do.
Thank you all for joining us for this show. Thanks for hanging out in the stream. If you want to watch us stream these episodes live, you can catch us at 7:00 p.m. Central Time on Mondays at twitch.tv/platformerspod. If you want to hit us all up on social media, you can also do that. We are all to be found at Platformers Pod, and you can find archives of these streams and breakouts at youtube.com/platformerspod. If you want to find me, I am on Twitter at Ribnax, Ribnax, and I have been streaming several times a week, almost every day, but not quite every day, at twitch.tv/Ribnax. And I have been playing through Elden Ring, going for 100%. Although I did have one stream in the middle of the week where I played Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear, and was setting up Streamlabs and was trying to learn this fight stick that I've been playing. So like switching from playing fighting games on a pad to a stick has been a fun little adventure in what is comfortable and what is not comfortable. And today we got into on the stream, we got into a big discussion about fast food joints and our favorite frozen custards and things like this while I was just running around beating bosses in Elden Ring. So I typically stream starting around 2 p.m. Central Time. So please go follow me over at twitch.tv/Ribnax. I'm having a blast doing it. And I'm breaking those out on YouTube as well. I don't have a channel name yet because I think I have to get like a bunch more subscribers. But I will post my like YouTube on Twitter to get people over there. And you can find links to my YouTube in the Twitch stream. So you should be able to find everything you need there. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at the Jawa Josh. I don't tweet that much, but if you want to see all the cool video essay stuff I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic.
You can find me at Shrives93. I'm really just any free time I have lately, I've just been playing Hollow Knight. It's really all I want to do.
Keep it up, man.
It's all I want to do. Like, I haven't really gotten to play much lately, and now I can, especially this week. It's probably all I'm going to do this week.
I'm excited, dude. I can't wait to hear when you get to the end.
I'm going to play it until my hands get sore, and then I'm going to stop.
Nice.
And then I'm going to come back. And then I'll come back to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was me and Hades, man.
Yeah.
Great game. Both 10s. But yeah. Anyway. Thanks, everybody.
That's it.
If you did it. If you got a review in you, please throw it at us. If you got a subscribe or a like or anything like that, throw it our way. We appreciate that. We're going to take all those crumbs and we're just going to gather them up, and we're eventually going to form a little media sandwich. We're going to eat it, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Anyways, from everybody here at the Platformers, we hope that you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.
Bye.